Square Enix is one of the best gaming company when it comes to Japanese role-playing games. Some of you might not agree with me, but hell, they are the ones who built our childhood and make it very fun and exciting with their good old fantasy classic retro RPGs. Up until this day, they are still creating and developing beautiful and amazing games. That is why I've decided, which is long overdue, about the top 20 Square Enix Jrpgs. But in this case, it is given that most Final Fantasy will dominate my list. So I'll be excluding the Final Fantasy games and pick other games developed and published by Square Enix. Before I start the countdown, I would like to thank you all since I've reached 2,000 subscribers on my channel. You guys are the best. Let us start with number 20. Number 20 is Oninaki. On the surface, it might seem like a rough around the edges action RPG, lacking depth to its combat alongside an anime-inspired melodramatic story. However, for those who are patient enough to explore its world, characters, and ability-based battle system, there's a lot to like and dive into it after all. If you have even the slightest curiosity in this title, Oninaki's refreshing take on JRPGs is most definitely worth your time. Number 19 is Terranigma. It was during the 16-bit era that action-style role-playing game began to take off. One of the best and memorable classic JRPG from Super Famicom. Although only a few would appreciate it now, but it's still living to its wondrous tale full of mystery. Number 18 is Vagrant Story, a PS1 classic with a compelling story and a challenging action combat system. Square has truly beaten all odds and produced an engaging, seamless, epic unlike any other. The complex crafting system and weird gear stat damage system is what makes it hard to love for me, but if you can get past that, it is very enjoyable. Number 17 is Saga Frontier. It's another great classic which was recently remastered. An unforgettable JRPG epic that in some aspects has not been surpassed by any other game. With unique characters and situations, also with a non-linear narrative structure, a deep combat system, and an atmosphere of endless adventure will not leave anyone indifferent. Number 16 is Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together for the PSV, which was originally released for the Super Famicom. Without question, it is the finest classic remake I've ever played. It helps that the source material is so strong, of course, but what really makes this PSP rendition stand out is the way its creators have addressed every single problem with the original version. If you're a fan of tactical RPGs, surely this is something you shouldn't miss. Number 15 is I Am Setsuna. It's developed by a subsidiary company of Square Enix, which is Tokyo RPG Factory. It sticks to the JRPG mold pretty tightly and doesn't add much to the existing genre. However, the story goes above and beyond almost every other JRPG I've ever played, and arguably it has one of the best stories. The art style of the environment and the characters are also beautiful, and the gameplay is pretty much as what you can expect in an active time battle system. Number 14 is Lost Sphear, same as with I Am Setsuna, although I prefer this game much better. Lost Sphear is a good game in which Tokyo RPG Factory has taken good notes on the features that were criticized in their first game. While it's true that it isn't a perfect game, and even though it has improved aspects such as the combat mechanics or the greater variety in the surroundings, one of those RPGs that will get you hooked into playing for hours and hours. Number 13 is Trials of Mana Remake. This is by far the best remake from the Mana series after the tragedy that happened with Secret of Mana. Building your characters is very fun in this game, and experiencing how the story changes with each party make-up ensures replay value. There's something to love for fans regardless of age and plunge in a great action adventure in the world of Mana. Number 12 is Kingdom Hearts 2. It's in many ways superior to its predecessor. Battles are more exciting, the game is much longer, and unlike the original, it allows one to skip the beautifully animated story scenes. A game well worth playing if you're a fan of both Disney and Final Fantasy. Given the title's wide appeal, featuring numerous characters and scenarios close to the hearts of many, this is probably the best Kingdom Hearts ever developed so far. Number 11 is Parasite Eve 2. This is a perfect example of two different genres combined with a survival horror and RPG elements into a gripping adventure. This game is somehow inspired with Capcom's Resident Evil series with an engaging story to complement the gameplay. It has a great art, music, level designs, characters, backgrounds, and the story will keep you busy for a long time. Number 10 is Octopath Traveler. Bringing some innovations to the genre, this RPG is breathtaking with its gorgeous HD 2D graphics, which is a trademark of Square Enix. It is an extremely satisfying storytelling experience, vastly different from other traditional Jrpgs out there. The 8 stories followed over the course of the game are all compelling in different ways. The combat is simple, yet nuanced, and building party compositions never stops being a fun exercise as the adventure presents each new challenge. Number 9 is Dragon Quest VIII. It's a perfect example of a great JRPG. This is a masterpiece with a great story and lovable characters. Also, the soundtrack is phenomenal. The ease of play and deep gaming experience are a perfect blend for whiling away far too many hours. Dragon Quest VIII succeeds brilliantly by taking time-tested traditional RPG gameplay and placing it in a uniquely vast and beautiful world that is pure joy to explore and inhabit. Number 8 is Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria. This is my favorite Valkyrie game in the series and my first ever side-scrolling JRPG. I love every details about it, from exploration to the battle system. It makes me want to play this game all over again. The plot has a lot of twists that makes it more interesting as you progress. The world it presents is gorgeous, with some of the most technically and aesthetically pleasing visuals I've ever seen so far. Number 7 is Bravely Default. While all of the games in the series are all so good, it feels like to jump in a different magical world filled with an adventure. It really did bring back the spirit of how great JRPGs as a genre as a whole. The art style of the characters and the world is so pleasing to the eye, and the battle system is simple and very easy to learn. Not only that, but the story is so intriguing with unexpected plot twists that will shaking you up. Number 6 is Xenogears, another PS1 classic that is considered a masterpiece by combining good action, dark drama, a splash of anime, and mecha. Also, the game has an intricate storyline, beautifully designed characters and robots, and some of the most innovative features in it, an RPG with a great action battle system. You simply can't afford to pass this game up. Number 5 is Star Ocean 2. Is by far and still my most favorite Star Ocean in the whole franchise. Every character in this game are also well written, and the story is so good. It has some of the best game mechanics like crafting, cooking, smithing, and etc. Like relationships, recruiting specific characters, private actions, and exploring. It's so full of optimization that it's bound to be one of the classics for PlayStation 1. Number 4 is Nier Automata. It's an absolute masterclass in game design. It surpasses expectations time and time again, resulting in an experience not to be missed by fans of action titles. With its sleek, smooth visuals running 60 FPS, compelling story, fantastic music score, insane combat, huge open world, loads of quests and items and weapons, 26 different endings to discover, and more. What's not to enjoy? This is a mass RPG for RPG lovers. Number 3 is Dragon Quest XI. If you've never played a Dragon Quest game before, this is the best introduction to the series you could ask for. The story might be cliché like a hero was born to save the world, which is called the Luminary, Aside from that, this game is full of emotion which is I find very rare nowadays in Jrpgs. The gameplay is very simple yet the graphics is beautiful. It is truly captivating and mesmerizing to play, so I highly recommend this if you haven't played it. Number 2 is Chrono. One thing I love so much about this game is the soundtrack. All of the musics are so soothing and calming. It has one of the best stories and plot in a JRPG along with a variety of great characters to choose from into your party. I am actually torn between Trigger and Cross since they are both amazing in their own respective way. Undeniably, this game had really changed my point of view when it comes to JRPG. Number 1 is Chrono Trigger. I'm sure you all are not surprised at all. This is considered to be the best RPG ever made in history. It is one of the most charming, endearing, and most fun role-playing game I've ever played so far. With its amazing top-notch story and the iconic characters in the game are so hard not to remember. Given how everything in the game are also well balanced, including the combat system, this is worthy to be the number 1 spot. Regardless of whether you played it already or are new to the series, you owe it to yourself to check out this amazing title.